Are you in favor of allowing golf carts in Gulfport?
Thank you. Actually, I am. And I'll preface this by saying that it's not just easy as saying, yes, okay, let them occur, and here we go, everybody can go buy, a golf cart or cruise around the city. Many coastal communities, many beach communities, small communities make golf carts accessible to individuals for short trips or maneuvering around the town and really enjoying our amenities. With that said, our radius, our city radius, we do have some streets that may not work from a safety perspective. If you start thinking about 58th Street, 22nd Street, 49th Street, perhaps other areas as well. And also from a safety perspective, we have to start thinking about how these golf carts accommodate or coexist in streets with motor vehicles. Parking, I think, is another question that needs to be addressed. My thoughts at this point forward, it may serve a really nice purpose and we probably should pursue it. Clearly understanding what are the rules, the regs, and the licensing requirements that are going to be required. And first and foremost, since it is public streets, both the city and Pinellas County will have a lot to say on what can and cannot happen. Also working with the police department, because they're going to have to navigate, navigate the golf carts, with other motor vehicles. And I think first and foremost with Chief Vincent, the police department, sitting down, understanding what those rules and regs should be, and then taking that to City Council from an ordinance perspective. So I do think it's a good idea, but I want to be cautious that it's only done with safety first and foremost as what we need to address.
All right, thank you. Paul, same question.
I spent some time, a lot of relatives over at the villages, and they allow golf carts. I've looked into and researched a bunch of the other cities that do allow golf carts on the streets. The things that you need to address is the regulations regarding insurability. They should be insured. They should be registered with the city, much like we register our bicycles with the city. They should always have a driver's license in order to be able to operate one. They need to have all the safety features such as the third eye in the back for the brake lights. They need to have blinkers for directionals. And they need to be able to exceed a certain speed, just like we have with allowing 49 cc's and above on the roads, but we don't allow them on the highways. Same principles would apply. As long as they're going down 22nd Street and they're capable of doing 35 miles an hour, then they're fine, but they should exceed. Of course, I think there should be more like 45, and I think that's what the villages do. I think it would be a good idea with the space that they're talking about creating from the marina to downtown. It would be a perfect place to go along along the waterfront and getting back and forth from the marina, as well as I think we've cut down on the pollution plus the parking in the city. Parking is always going to be a problem in the city. We just don't have any parking garages or any place for them, and nobody wants them either. So, I'm very much for putting golf carts, allowing golf carts with those restrictions within the city limits.
All right, thank you very much. Paul, what is your opinion of the mooring field?
The mooring field is actually, I had a long talk, I just met with Dennis Range yesterday, and we talked much about the mooring fields, because there's been a lot of debate going back and forth that there was 100 and now there was only 15, now there's only going to be 25. Of course, we only have a de facto mooring field at this point. We do not have the letter of understanding from the Army Corps of Engineers that gives us the legal right to be able to enforce that. Once we put the mooring field into place, it gives us jurisdiction over that area. So that when people are dumping illegally, because if you know much about boats, there's a gray tank, there's a black tank. If you start dumping that black tank, that's fecal matter. That's going to be going directly into the bay. That's where people are going to be swimming in, and it's a contaminant, dangerous. Some of the things about the mooring field also is that we're going to have a honey wagon that's going to be able to go from boat to boat in the mooring field, and they're going to put a blue packet of dye in every one of the black tanks. So if they illegally release, we're going to know. And not only that, it's a source of revenue for the city. I think it's a very good idea. I like the idea of the 25 because you do have, the radius. You have a spinning radius in which, if you have a boat tied here during the course of winds and currents, that boat is going to have a return, a spinning radius. So that's one of the reasons why they did reduce it down to 25, and Keith said keeping it 50 or 100.
Thank you. Yolanda, same question.
Thank you. I am in support of the Lawrence Field, and likewise, I have spoken to city officials on what were the plans, what are the plans, and what will this look like moving forward. Clearly, the objectives from the city perspective is how do we begin to organize what's happening in Boca Ciega Bay? Questions have been asked, continue to be asked. Do we have abandoned vessels that need to be addressed? Do we have unnecessary pollution of our waters because of non-control sewage, that's being deposited into our waters? The other thing with the Lawrence Field, it does become an invitation to vessels traveling our intercoastal waterways. Here we are, Gulfport, and we're inviting. We want people to come see our city streets, enjoy restaurants or enjoy businesses. And we have a facility where people can park and take advantage of a pump out system and take advantage of city services. They may be more apt to visit our community. Once upon a time, there was probably a very aggressive number of mooring fields to place in the vicinity of our waters. And if you all know, it's going to be in the Veterans Park area, in that vicinity to the left of the casino. And I don't know, exactly where it's going to be, but we know that there's a location. So I think, with the 25 that are proposed, and I believe they're about, $1,200 a piece, so something very manageable for the city. The income, revenue producing of the pump out services, I think is a good thing for the city to entertain. But watching this, for a period of time, we should make an assessment moving forward. Was it a good idea, not a good idea? Did people take advantage of it? Have we made an environmental impact, in our water system, in Boca Ciega Bay? The other thing, which I think was carefully thought out by our city council and our mayor and the residents, before you make decisions that impact our water systems, have we done an environmental check? And I think there was a lot of questions and resistance, and because we never should rush to do things. And I think City Council took a very measured approach to say, is this going to have an environmental impact? How about the seagrasses? What's going on in that environment? That assessment was done, that analysis was done. City Council and the mayor and so forth felt very comfortable. There was not going to be a negative impact environmentally. So right now, let's get it done. Let's see how it works. It's 25. I think it's manageable. And then we'll see what it looks like in the future. But I think it's a good idea.
Thank you, Yolanda. How would you support Gulfport businesses, and do you support chain stores and restaurants?
Thank you. Comes up a lot. Interestingly enough, it's not as though we have changed to. Are we okay with this?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think we all know. In the Gulfport. Okay?
Give her a new one.
Yes.
Is this good? Okay. So I am not going to go ahead and say absolutely not. Chain stores have to be, it's something that is very negative. We currently in Gulfport, if you look at what businesses exist, McDonald's is a chain, Walgreens is a chain. We have our auto store on 49th and 22nd, that's a chain. There are businesses that should come to Gulfport if they're going to meet our needs, which I know some of the facilities I mentioned do meet our needs. There was also a question though, however, what kind of businesses may come and threaten our small business community? And I think that's where a thoughtful city council, a mayor, the residents should be asking those questions. I think we all know Pasadena is getting a Walmart neighborhood type store. I will start to question, what does that mean, to area businesses. So I'm not necessarily opposed if in fact it's something that will benefit our community. But that means that as city council, as members of the community, you all, we start asking the question, who's coming? Why are they coming? Are they here for the long haul? Are they working with our Merchants Association? Are they working with our Chamber of Commerce? Are they going to get involved from a community perspective? Because that's the kind of thing that I will want to challenge these chain stores, whoever they may be, when they come to the community. The fact of the matter is that individuals who do their business here, chain or not, they pay taxes, they add to our revenues. They provide valuable services. So I'm not opposed, but I think we need to engage and make sure that people understand you're coming to our town and you're coming to service our residents. And obviously our residents will be taking care of your business, so how are you gonna be taking care of our business? So I just think it's a great way to open a dialogue, learn from our existing chains, they're here already. You know, they've been here already, and many of them have been here for the long haul.
Very good. Paul, how would you support Gulfport businesses, and do you support chain stores and restaurants?
When it comes to chain stores, being from Cape Cod originally, I saw a lot of them come in and start bringing in the chains, the chain stores, and it really was a bad idea. As time went on, they finally discovered that what we needed to do was push them off into a certain area. There was not too long ago on 22nd, there was big talk of Dollar General coming in on the south side of 22nd Street. A lot of people that I've talked to going from door to door have said that they just don't want to see any of the chain stores south of 22nd, and I think that's a very viable alternative. One of the things that really bothers me heavily in this town is 49th Quarter. And the reason, if we get up there and clean that up, that's our curb appeal coming into town. So many people come into Gulfport and they see this when they're coming into Gulfport. I don't know how many of them want to turn around and go back from where they came from. What's the point? That would be a perfect place for putting something like a Dollar General or whatever, any kind of other supermarkets. It would be nice to have that availability to the people of Gulfport, because we all know if we want to go shopping, we have to go over to Pasadena, or we've got to go up into St. Pete. So I don't support them south of 22nd. There's been discussion of opening a larger restaurant on 22nd on the north side of it, on the north side of the street. And that it would be open to. We would have to discuss it. The council needs to talk about it and find out all the details. But bottom line, I think that 49th Street would really benefit. We did changed it to a multi-zone, which is the first step towards cleaning up something that's blighted and has crime on it. But the problem is, if you just say, well, that one step, that's not enough. You need to bring in more traffic, more people coming to that area, so that the more traffic, the less crime. Bottom line, if people are coming in and out of their cars, people aren't going to be breaking into your cars, and a little bit of paint up there wouldn't be a bad idea for a start. But my feeling would be, let's put them along 49th and north of 22nd.
Great, thank you. Paul, before I go on to the next question, I just want to get on this topic because you mentioned 49th Street Quarter, and that's been a big eyesore. As you are well aware, Gulfport on 49th Street is separated by St. Pete and Gulfport. Now, St. Pete doesn't seem to want to do anything on their side, yet how much can we do on our side that will benefit that without working with St. Pete to handle the other side? So, do you all have any plans? And I'll ask you both the same question, and you can start with you, Paul, on that one, and just ask, how would you handle that situation with St. Pete?
One of the things that I've been trying to do is I've been setting up meetings with both they're not council members, those are districts of the one on Tyrone and the one that borders us over on 49th, is to be able to try to work on something. Because, in a lot of towns, when you go around the cities, we basically, I believe the policy is that the police are not allowed to cross into St. Petersburg unless there's some form of personal safety involved. And I think that we need to change that rule a little bit, work with the city of St. Pete in order to define that. Because if we don't, all we're going to do is be cleaning up one side of the street and leaving the other one. It's sort of like putting, what's the old saying, lipstick on a pig? I mean, it makes no sense. We have to work with them, otherwise it's going to fail.
You'll have to have